Hey everybody, it's Angie from Trips with Angie. Welcome to another video in the Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas series. Hopefully you're a subscriber, so if you've seen the previous videos, and if not, I hope you will consider subscribing and turning those notifications on so you don't miss a single video as we travel all around the world. And today we are in the cabin. We have just pulled into Port Canaveral, so it is time for my cruise review. Yay! So just a reminder, these are just my personal thoughts based on this cruise exactly. Someone commented they were very surprised that I placed Carnival and Disney in the same ratings, and in fact I think I rated Carnival a little bit higher, but that's just my personal opinion. We travel without kids, some of the amenities are lost on us, and we rate each as an individual cruise. So yes, I found the Carnival Celebration a little bit better than the Disney Fantasy. But now on to the Wonder of the Seas. So the first category we always look at is the cabin, and in this ship, I'm going to give our balcony cabin on deck 6, cabin 6568, a 9 out of 10. It is a terrific cabin. I loved the location. We were right by the forward elevators. We didn't get any noise. I mean, we could hear someone in the neighboring cabin talking a little bit. And we heard some complaints around the ship that the cabin walls were a little thinner than they've experienced on other ships, but we personally didn't have any issues. The balcony was a great size. The bathroom was small, so that's why it's a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10, but I think they made a very efficient use of the space. We liked having the TV. The TV actually rotates, so you can sit on the couch and watch television, and they also had outlets right next to the bed. So overall, wonderful cabin. I highly recommend it. Now on to casual dining. So these are those casual dining options like the buffet, like the quick service, and I'm going to give the Wonder of the Seas an 8.5 out of 10. First, the things I really liked. I liked that of all of the main decks you can be on, there was a quick service food option. So on deck 5, the Promenade, you had Cafe Promenade and Sorrento's, which is the pizza place. I like that the pizza place had more than just pizza. You could get salad and grilled vegetables in addition to the pizza options. On deck 6, you have the boardwalk in the aft of the ship that has the hot dog stand. On deck 8 in Central Park, you have Park Cafe with sandwiches and salad options. And then as you head up to the pool deck on deck 15, you have the buffet, and then on deck 16 you have a Loco Fresh, which is a small Mexican taco burrito buffet. I do think they need 1 or 2 more options, and I would really have liked to see the grill be separate from the buffet. I do really like on a cruise ship where on the pool deck there's a hamburger and hot dog option where you don't have to dry off, you don't have to change clothes, you can just hop up, grab some fries, and a hamburger and hot dog option. So that's why I'm going to give it an 8.5. The other reason for the 1.5 deduction is the buffet, I almost called it the Windjammer buffet, it's not called that on the ship. The buffet gets slammed. I mean, it's 6,600 people were on our sailing out of the possible 7,000, and it's just so crowded in there. There isn't a ton of seating for the amount of people on board, so that also is why it's not quite meeting the 10 mark. Now on to sit-down dining options. So this is going to be those included options where you sit down and order off a menu, and that is the main dining room. We had a terrific experience in the main dining room. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. You have the option of selecting a set dining time or My Time Dining. With My Time Dining, you would need to go into the app and make a reservation. We did this in advance of the sailing, and then we were also able to snag some reservations during the sailing. But don't worry, you can also go through a standby line. The My Time Dining was on deck 4 of the dining room. They had a reservations line and a no reservations line. We were very impressed with the quality of the food and the service. It came out hot. And we really like the new menus. So you may have seen a lot of chatter online about the new menus on Royal Caribbean. And they have changed a few things. They've taken away the classics options as having the same options for every day. And for us, it actually reminded us of cruising decades ago when you used to have the theme nights. So there was an Italian night and a Mexican night and a Royal night. And we really liked it. It was nostalgic. It reminded us of cruising years and years and years ago. So I think it's funny everyone's calling it the new Royal Caribbean menu when really it's just going back to how things used to be a very long time ago, and we enjoyed it. Specialty dining. So these are those extra charge options which Royal Caribbean has quite a few of. Now, I think in general the specialty dining on Royal Caribbean is overpriced. I think it's a little bit high for the experience you get. I think it's a little bit high compared to peers in the market. I do think the unlimited dining package is an incredible value, but just remember you need to book that as soon as you book. So the price goes up over time. It generally isn't always included with the other sales. So the beverage package may go on sale. Some of the individual restaurants may go on sale. So for instance, when we made our Hooked seafood reservation and our Mason jar reservation, there was a 20% off dining option then, like just to book the individual restaurant. But in the unlimited dining packages, which let you eat in the specialty restaurant for your lunch and dinners, that doesn't always go on sale. So you want to book that as soon as possible. Now, for the specialty dining options we tried, the Mason jar is the new concept on the Wonder of the Seas. It was wonderful. We had a great experience. We had great service. The food was terrific. I loved the different options that they had available. We tried the Nashville hot chicken sandwich, though I don't think anyone in Nashville would consider it spicy. It was more of a mild. We had the ginormous cinnamon roll, the deviled eggs. We just had a great experience there. And there's more information coming about our overall dining experience in the dining review that will be released in a few days. So make sure you have those notifications on if you're really into food or finding out what our dining experiences were like. Hooked Seafood, we ate there for lunch. Again, great experience. My husband got the messy fish sandwich, which was very good. The premier dining experience we had on board though was Chef's Table. It was wonderful. It was definitely worth the extra charge. It was a wine pairing dinner. It was the best beef tenderloin I've ever had. So definitely worth it there. The reason I'm not giving it a full 10 of 10 is we had some missteps at 150 Central Park. There was some inconsistencies in the service and one of the dishes was just not very good. So that leaves us with a 9 out of 10. Entertainment, 9.5 out of 10. Royal Caribbean really knocked our socks off with the activities and the entertainment on board. We absolutely loved it. So you really want to pay attention to that app. Some of the entertainment you can book in advance, so start checking that cruise planner 60 to 45 days before you embark. You want to see all the shows. So we had Tap Factory, Voices, and the Effectors 2 as our main theater shows. In the Aqua Theater, we saw Intense, and then in the ice skating show was 365. And they were all very good. I think Effectors was definitely my favorite of the theater shows, but I was really wowed by the Aqua Theater and the ice skating shows. For some of the included activities you can book in advance, the Royal Puzzle Society was very fun. This is a escape room type experience where you have to solve a lot of puzzles as a group. It can take a fairly large group. I think there were 12 or 15 people with us. When we did it, you can book it online in advance. There's also laser tag you can book. There's comedy available. Now that sells out very quickly because it's one of the smaller venues, but all of the shows and even these activities will have a standby line. So if someone doesn't show up for their reservation, you can sneak on in and take it part in the experience. The other included activities I'd recommend were the mystery box. So that is a fun puzzle experience. Just look for it in the app. And here, let me show you how to find some of these activities in the app so you can mark them into your calendar right from the beginning so you don't miss a thing.
To see all the activities, click the ship at the top and then click activities. This will show you the activities by type. I find it much easier to search this way. So for the special events, you can scroll down and see whenever there's going to be kamikaze karaoke where you have to sing what they give you, or how to get your show reservations if you wanted to attend the Veterans Tribute. Now, if you like something and you want to make sure you attend it, you can click on the event and then click add to calendar. This isn't a reservation, but it will give you a reminder when that event is going to be scheduled. They also have all the different surf lesson availabilities. So I found this a really easy way to kind of search through all the things that were going to be happening on the cruise on our first day and mark off the things that I thought would be interesting. So throughout the week, I would get a reminder that I thought that looked really cool. That you can now, the Royal Mystery, that's the one I was telling you about. It's really fun. It's a game. You don't have to have a reservation in advance. You just show up and you get on a team. So add that to your calendar when you get on board. You can also see the different types of sports and recreation, any special food and beverages events, the dance classes that will be available. Some of these may have an extra charge and you may need an actual reservation, so you'll need to mark the description. It also has a kids and teens section, so if you just really want to focus on what kind of family fun may be available, this is in addition to the schedule activities within the kids club. So this is going to be your teen activities or more of your family as a group activities.
So that is entertainment. Again, 9.5. The 0.5 deduction is the venue they held trivia in, and this is so small, but it was annoying a lot of people, so I want to mention it, was the Spotlight Karaoke. Yes, they have a dedicated facility to karaoke, which is awesome, but it's so small, so people would just be crammed in there trying to do trivia. So hopefully in the future they may consider doing the trivia in a little bit larger venue. Overall service was a 9. We had a couple missteps here and there, but overall, terrific job. The crew was friendly and kind and attentive. We just had a wonderful experience in all of the venues we went to. Shout out to Maria in the Boleros bar, who was exceptionally wonderful, but great time. Value. I'm gonna give the Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas an 8.5 for value. So Royal Caribbean price is a little bit higher than some of the other lines. You can't get the beverage package included. As I said before, I think that the specialty dining prices are a bit high. So overall, I don't think it's the same value that other lines deliver. Now remember, we don't have kids. So the value of the flow rider and the zip line were a little bit lost on us. At the ice skating hours, we don't ice skate. So some of the amenities that may be really important to you and signify like a huge value for your family, being able to ride the flow rider all week long, aren't gonna apply to us. So again, overall 8.5 on value. So that leaves us with an overall score of 9 out of 10. We had an incredible first impression of this ship. I highly recommend once you get on board, heading to those top decks and starting to walk around and just see everything that's available, and the ship delivered throughout the week. We had an incredible time. There's so much to do. I can't wait to come back on board this ship. So hopefully you're gonna set sail on the Wonder of the Seas. If you have set sail on the Wonder of the Seas, please let me know what you think. I'd love to hear more about it. So have a great one.